They say the next world war won't be fought with bombs or bullets, but with algorithms. Not over land, but over data. Not for oil, but for intelligence. Digital, artificial, unstoppable. On one side stands the United States of America, the birthplace of Silicon Valley, where ideas move faster than light and innovation is the nation's heartbeat. On the other, China, a country that turned itself from the world's factory into the world's most advanced digital machine. One leads in software, the other dominates hardware. One creates the code, the other builds the infrastructure. And between them lies the greatest rivalry of our time, a silent war shaping the future of humanity. This is USA versus China, the real tech war. Point 1. The AI revolution. Who teaches the machines? If the last century was powered by oil, this one runs on data, and artificial intelligence is the engine. In the United States, the AI revolution began with a question: how can machines think like us? And from that question came giants: OpenAI, Google DeepMind, Anthropic, NVIDIA. Names that now define the digital world. ChatGPT writes, thinks, and debates. Google's Gemini analyzes oceans of information in seconds. America doesn't just create AI, it humanizes it. But in China, the revolution looks different. Companies like Baidu, Alibaba, Tencent, and SenseTime aren't chasing creativity. They're chasing integration. AI there doesn't just answer questions, it runs cities. It manages traffic, monitors security, and even predicts economic trends. In the US, AI is a product. In China, it's an ecosystem. While American AI dreams of freedom, Chinese AI is built for control, not necessarily evil, but structured, disciplined, designed to serve the collective. One teaches machines to think freely, the other teaches them to think efficiently, and both, in their own way, are rewriting what it means to be human. Point 2. The chip war. Brains behind the machines. Every empire needs a power source. For this one, it's the microchip, a piece of silicon smaller than your fingernail, yet powerful enough to run civilizations. The US has long ruled this domain. Intel, AMD, NVIDIA, Qualcomm. American names that became the foundation of the digital age. The US controls the architecture, the design, and most of the intellectual property. But here's the twist. Those chips, the lifeblood of modern AI, cars, phones, weapons, are largely manufactured in Asia. And that's where China comes in. It produces more than 35% of the world's chips, yet struggles with the ultra-advanced 5-nanometer technology. So it's racing, pouring billions into domestic production, backing companies like SMIC and Huawei's HiSilicon. Meanwhile, America is fighting back with sanctions and export bans, blocking China's access to critical tools from ASML and TSMC. It's no longer just trade, it's technological warfare. The US controls the brains, China controls the hands, and whoever unites both will control the world. Point 3. The space race. Beyond Earth, beyond ego. For decades, America looked down at Earth from above, its flag waving proudly on the moon. NASA was untouchable. Then came SpaceX, redefining space travel with reusable rockets. The US now dreams beyond the moon, toward Mars, asteroid mining, and even interplanetary internet. The private sector, SpaceX, Blue Origin Rocket Lab, turned space into an open market. But quietly, China has been catching up. Its CNSA built the Tiangong space station, landed a rover on the far side of the moon, and plans to establish a permanent lunar base by 2030. While the US explores for discovery, China explores for dominance. And when astronauts from both nations look up at the same stars, they're not just chasing science, they're chasing symbolism. One races to explore, the other races to establish, and the next flag planted on the moon might not be American. Point 4. Manufacturing might. The power of scale. If ideas are America's strength, production is China's weapon. The United States dreams in patents, China dreams in factories. In Shenzhen, new skyscrapers rise faster than you can design a floor plan. Entire industries can shift overnight. Phones, drones, solar panels, EVs. If it exists, China can mass produce it. Meanwhile, America's manufacturing declined for decades, outsourced, automated, forgotten. Now it's trying to bring it back through the CHIPS Act, robotics, and 3D printing. The US builds precision tools. China builds entire ecosystems. America thinks in prototypes. China thinks in production lines. And while the US innovates, China industrializes those ideas at lightning speed. Point 5. Robotics and automation. When machines replace humans. In America, robots inspire wonder. Boston Dynamics creates machines that leap, balance, and dance. They look alive, but they're still experimental. In China, robots are workers. They assemble iPhones, deliver food, clean hotels, and drive taxis. In some factories, humans are almost gone. The US pushes robotics for research and exploration. China pushes robotics for efficiency and economy. Both nations see the same destination, but they're taking very different roads. One designs robots to amaze, the other designs robots to replace. And when the world finally becomes automated, it might speak Chinese commands, but think in English code. Point 6. Surveillance and privacy. The price of progress. Technology gives power, but power always comes with a cost. In the US, tech companies promise freedom, but it's freedom wrapped in algorithms. Google tracks, Meta records, Amazon listens, not for control, but for profit. In China, the government doesn't hide its intentions. Thousands of cameras line every street. Facial recognition identifies citizens in milliseconds. It's safety or surveillance, depending on who you ask. The US sells privacy for convenience. China sacrifices it for control. One model runs on trust in corporations. The other runs on trust in the state. Both raise the same haunting question. Who really owns your data, you or the system? Point 7. The electric revolution, cars, energy, and the future. The road to the future isn't paved with asphalt. It's wired with batteries. The US led the electric dream with Tesla. A single company redefined the automotive world. Cars became software. Speed became silent. China watched, learned, and scaled. Companies like BYD, NIO, and XPeng now produce more EVs than the rest of the world combined. China also controls 80% of the global battery supply chain. While Tesla sells luxury, China sells accessibility, EVs for every price point, in every city. The US started the revolution. China finished it. And as the planet shifts to green energy, China doesn't just make the cars, it makes the rules of the road. Point 8. The digital currency war. Money goes virtual. For centuries, money meant power. Today, power is becoming digital. The US dollar still dominates world trade, but China is quietly building a challenger, the digital yuan. It's not crypto. It's state-controlled digital money, designed to track, trace, and control transactions instantly. Meanwhile, America experiments with blockchain, crypto startups, and CBDCs, but fears losing control of its financial empire. The US guards its currency like a crown. China rebuilds it for the next century. And when money itself becomes data, whoever owns the network owns the world. Point 9. Global tech influence. Who shapes the world? American tech gave us the internet, social media, smartphones, and a new culture built on dreams and dopamine. Apple, Google, Microsoft, Meta, their logos are as recognizable as national flags. But Chinese tech is expanding fast. Huawei builds 5G networks across Africa. TikTok, made in China, now dominates American screens. BYD powers buses in Europe. The US spreads ideas. China spreads infrastructure. One controls hearts and minds, the other controls cables and grids. And together, whether we like it or not, they've wired the planet into a single digital battlefield. Point 10. Innovation philosophy. Freedom versus order. At the heart of this war lies something deeper than technology. It's philosophy. America's innovation is born from chaos. Startups, freedom, risk, and rebellion. The garage inventors, the dreamers, the dropouts. China's innovation is born from order. State planning, national strategy, and massive coordination. When China decides to innovate, the entire nation moves as one. The US innovates through freedom. China innovates through focus. Two different paths. One shared destination: dominance. So, who's really winning this tech war? America, the land of innovation, where creativity and freedom spark revolutions. Or China, the land of execution, where precision, discipline, and speed shape the future. The truth is, there's no clear winner. This isn't a war with an ending. It's a balance of power. The US imagines the future, China builds it, and the rest of the world lives in it. The real question isn't who's winning. It's who will define what winning even means. Because the future won't be conquered by armies. It will be coded by engineers. And the battle lines aren't drawn on maps anymore. They're written in lines of code. The next world war won't be televised. It'll be uploaded. So the only real question left is, whose code will run the world? If this story opened your eyes to the future, hit like, subscribe, and join us as we uncover how nations compete, create, and shape the world of tomorrow.